who is not having trouble understanding my accent? Okay, so this is also the time when I try to make sure that you guys respond. You guys and girls respond. In this class, interaction with me but also with each other is very important. Okay? So when I ask a question, yes or no, I expect the sum of yes plus no to equal 64, right? And when I asked who is having trouble understanding me, nobody said yes. Who is having trouble understanding me? Nobody said no. Maybe you were having trouble understanding me, right? But I don't think that's what happened. So here is what will happen, okay? Everybody stand up. Everybody stand up. Everybody stand up. Good. So you're understanding me. Okay. Whoever understands me, sit down. Okay, good. So you understood me, right? So in the future, if I ask a question and most of the class is not responding, I will make you stand up. Okay? So don't make me make you stand up. Okay? Just participate. Okay? This is about this is a participatory class. Okay. I have an Indian accent. I try to remember to speak slowly, but sometimes in the morning to pep up, I have coffee, I have Coke, and then I can't stop myself. I start speaking very quickly. Okay? If that happens, just ask me to slow down. And over the next few weeks, it will get better. Students usually say, professor, your English is improving. Yeah? So, but you will get more used to the accent. All right. So some of you may have noticed, I know that not everyone can read it, I apologize, but some of you may have noticed login information and how to sign up for Piazza and various links over here. Now people sitting over there in that corner may not be able to see it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Here is how you get started. So if you can log into Piazza, this morning you should have gotten an invitation to Piazza. Each of you should have gotten an invitation to Piazza. Is there anyone who did not get an invitation to Piazza, this forum over here, Piazza? Did everyone get an invitation to Piazza? Raise your hand if you got an invitation to Piazza. Okay, most of you seem to be whatever. Did anybody not get an invitation to Piazza? Did anyone not? Because if so, raise your hand, the TAs can come and help you. Okay? If you need help, then raise your hands. The TAs over there will come and help you. There is this post over here, this course information post, and all the information you will need will always be there. So in particular, one very useful document is the so-called lesson plans document. When you click on this, then the lesson plans will open, and that will show you what to expect today, tomorrow, Wednesday. Okay, so this is the agenda for this week. Okay, all right. So the things that you should be doing today, you have computers in front of you. You should be able to log in. There is login information. You should be able to, if you can't see the screen, you should be able to open screen share. So you should be able to click on this screen share link, and what it does is it opens in front of you a copy of whatever is being projected on the screen, hopefully, if I've got it running correctly. Maybe I don't. Oh, I don't. Okay, I apologize. So let me get this started. So no options, routing, okay, starting web server. So hopefully this will work now. Let us see. Okay, first class always happens, something goes wrong. So what in principle, because not everyone can see everything, we try to do the screen share thing so that whatever is on the screen can also be seen in front of you. The TAs will figure it out. We will get it to work by next class. Okay? So I think it should work. It should work.
I don't know why this.
Okay, today it's not critical. I mean, mostly, hopefully they can see it. But if we can figure out what's going on before next class, then that would be good. Okay. Yeah, normally there's something more that happens.
I think I get this work this morning.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Oh, it's only one.
Aha. Okay. Okay, good. So there's a typo. It should be 181, not 182, I believe. And then you can see the. Okay. Okay. So so in principle, you should be able to see the screen here. Okay. So again, in this class, there are many different little logistical details, and that's why we'll take the time this week just to do a dry run, just to do a practice run, so you get used to the logistics. Okay. Now, before I do that, let me spend some time describing the class structure and the philosophy. Okay. So here I'm going to give you a PowerPoint presentation about the class structure. Okay. By the way, so this class is award winning in the sense that the way that this class has been designed, we submitted it for a Hong Kong wide competition. It was one of the finalists for a well designed class. Okay. So people, other professors who have taught classes all over the world, they came, they judged, they said, okay, this is a well run class. That is not to say it is perfect. I will expect and hope that you will give useful comments so we can improve it further. But we really do try very hard to make sure you have a good learning experience, and that we try very hard to take more feedback from you and make it better. Okay? So to do that, let me try to explain to you the philosophy behind this class. Okay? So let's start the presentation. So so you'll notice various things over here in the title. Firstly, you'll see flipped classrooms. I'll explain what a flipped classroom is, and in particular something about market-driven framework, communities of learning. So we'll see what the goal is, what I expect from you guys. Okay. So usually this is what the class will end up looking like. My hope is that this is what the class will end up looking like. In the class, I will not be doing the teaching. I will not be lecturing. Okay? I have already recorded videos, put them online. Before you come to class, you will be reviewing them. And then in class, you will be learning from each other. Those are students from a previous year. One person from a different group moved up, walked around, is helping someone or is asking help questions. This was a TA from a previous year. And like over there, that's another TA. They're just standing around asking him questions, having fun. Okay, it feels like fun when the class is running well. I hope you will feel the same way yourself. Okay, again, I mean this is something that's aspirational, but in a well-running class, instead of worrying about competing with each other, you'll be helping each other. You'll help each other learn better. Okay, so. So what's going on over here? So firstly, there's this thing called a flipped classroom. The idea is, look, normally in a normal lecture, what happens? The professor comes in, gives a long lecture like I'm giving you right now, right? Long lecture, everyone is quiet, you all fall asleep, right? And then you go home and then you have to solve very complicated questions at home by yourself. You don't really, you copy from each other, you look at the internet, right? And it's not a very useful way of learning, right? It's a way of learning where there's one direction flow of information, not very efficient. Half of you don't understand maybe, half of you think it's too easy. Actually, you're smart students, so most of you think it's too easy, right? So it's not very efficient, right? Instead, in a flipped classroom, what happens is we give you the basic data, the basic concepts, the basic definitions, formulae up front in videos. These are short videos, so each video we try to keep between 5 to 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. Overall, the amount of video watching, the amount of time in the videos over the course of each week is around 90 minutes, okay, 90 minutes. It's on YouTube, so you can listen at double speed, right? So that's 45 minutes, right? If you listen to me very quickly, if you can understand me with the captions on, then it's much quicker, right? So the basic data delivery is much quicker. Then you come to class and we'll give you much more challenging questions that we will expect you to do collaboratively, that we will expect you to do in groups, that the TAs and I will go around and help you, and there'll be various structures. You'll be allowed to use the internet, you'll be allowed to do various things, you can post on the forum, you can learn from each other, you can walk around and ask for help, right? So in that setting, that means if you have questions, then at that point, after you've done the work of trying to understand back home, then you come to class, we'll try to help you, okay? So I'm not the one who invented this. People over the last 20 years have been flipping their classrooms worldwide, and more this is becoming accepted as a good way to teach and to learn, okay? Not everyone is comfortable with this. Every year when I teach this class, around 10% of the students say, I can't deal with it, okay, and they switch to the regular course because, you know, it's not for them, and that's okay. It is okay if you feel like this structure is not for you, but this is the structure we will follow, okay? So I'm telling you up front, this is what's going to happen. So the reason it is called flipped is because it is homework in class, classwork at home, right? There's no homework in this class, okay? The homework is that you first, before you come to class, you watch the videos for the next week, okay? You watch the videos, you do some very simple exercises just to make sure you're benchmarked. And then when you come to class, the things that we would normally give you as homework, actually a little bit more challenging than that, we will give you in class, and you can work with each other, with the TAs and with me, and we will help you, okay? So that is why it is called a flipped classroom, because it is flipped, right, upside down. All right, so that's what a flipped class is. Now in this class we try to take it a little bit further, okay? So I've realized over the years that if we just flip it, that's not enough, because here's what happens. Let me tell you a little bit of a story. There's this beautiful book by this Professor Michael Sandel at Harvard, and he says, well, you know, roughly speaking, there are two broad categories of things that motivate human beings, okay? One is market incentives, money, give me money, buy something, okay? The other is community norms. I am your friend, I will help you, right? I like you, so I will help you. That's a community norm, right? Now, as instructors, as professors, okay, so let me tell you the story first. So there's a story where there's a daycare center, like for children, there's a school for children, you know, when they're very young, and one of their basic problems is that parents who have to come to pick up their children after work, they're often late. So what do the and you know, that's not very nice, because the people who work in the daycare center, they keep they have to work late, they have to wait until the parents come. So they decide, okay, we're going to charge a fine. Whoever is late, we'll make them pay some money, okay? And what ends up happening? Everyone is like, oh, I just pay some money and then I can come late. Okay, here's some money, right? So they view it as a service instead of a fine. What happened over here is that the community norm of trying to make sure that the people who work in a daycare center are not inconvenienced, they have their own lives, was replaced by a market incentives, was replaced by incentive that, oh, I can just earn some, I can just give some more money and then they'll be fine, right? So that was actually the opposite consequence of what was intended, And unfortunately, as professors, we fall into the same trap. Okay? We say to you that we want to have a community of learning. We want you to learn from each other. We want you to collaboratively learn. Right? That's what we tell you. But what do? We set up a very nice little market. We say, okay, give me goods. What are the goods? Give me a good homework. Give me a good exam. And in exchange, I'll give you points. Right? And it's a very efficient little market system. And that's why quite predictably, what do? You all fight very hard for the points by yourself because then you view it as a competition with each other. Right? You say, if I get an A, there's only a finite number of A's. Not everyone can get an A. So I'm going to just do my own thing. And I'm going to compete for these scarce resources, these points. Right? So it's quite understandable. And in this class, we want to explicitly break that connection. Okay? So what do? We will have a bunch of strategies which will use these marketplace incentives to nudge you to work with each other. Okay? And I will be like a magician. I'll show you what I'll be doing and I'll tell you why I'm doing it, all with the goal of making you guys friends with each other, helping each other. Okay? That is my goal. My goal is not to teach you. I've already done all of that. It's all on the videos. So I'm done with the teaching. My goal in this class is to be a psychologist, to make you help each other. Okay? Why am I doing this? There's one of me, there's 4 of the TAs, there's 65 of you. I cannot go and help everyone individually all the time. I can a little bit here and there, but I cannot help you individually all the time. But by our records, you're all very smart. So collectively, you're much smarter than any one of us or any 5 of us. So that is why I will be using my energy to getting you guys to help each other. Okay? So what do I mean by these nudges? So let me show you what a class is going to be like, and let me show you where I would like you to end up by the end of the semester. Okay? So in educational philosophy, there's this thing called the Bloom taxonomy. Okay? What is this? It's just some complicated figure to show you or to sort of put on a single axis what is supposed to be learnt by students. So at the very base levels, it's like basic stuff, like just here is some data, here is a formula, remember it, right? As you go further up, you begin to understand it more, you begin to learn how to apply it, in which context it's applicable, in which context it's not. You begin to analyze it. Oh, sometimes this formula is not correct, sometimes it has to be modified appropriately. You begin to, at the very top levels, be creative. You begin to design your own theories, you begin to design your own systems, and indeed in this class we will be asking you to do a project. Okay? It is not like a typical mathematics class. In this class we will even ask you to do a project, a group project, based on the math you will be learning, because we want to take you all the way up this Bloom taxonomy. Okay? When I teach the class, when I used to teach the class in the normal way, usually it's definition, theorem, statement, proof, exercise, and students will be like, what is the use? So that is why we do these projects, so that you will learn some applications, and at least for some students that is the favorite part of the class, the fact that they can get something tangible out of the class. Okay? So how do we do this? So let me just show. So there's too much information here for you to figure it out, but the purpose of this slide is, by the way, these slides are online. I'll show you where you can see them. So you can come back if you want to see this later. But the purpose of the slide is to show you that we have explicitly designed little exercises and incentive systems so that we can, so we have designed incentives, corresponding learning activities, and then what our goal is over there. Okay? So let me show you. To begin, so as I said, to begin with, every week starting next week, so next week will be week 1, every week you will be expected to watch around plus minus 9 videos a week, okay, around 10 minutes. Now not every video is the same length, not every week will have the same number of videos, but that is the average, that is the mean. Okay, so it's around 90 minutes, and it's usually basic stuff. It's usually, at least in the first few weeks, stuff that you guys will not be too uncomfortable with. Okay, so again, you can watch it at double speed, you can watch it with the captions on, so I think it is quite reasonable. And this is usually just, here's a formula, here's a theorem, here's a proof of a theorem, right? But hopefully stuff that is understandable. And then also at home, between each video or between each set of videos, there'll be 1 or 2 simple exercises. Okay, and these exercises are usually not very hard. So these exercises are, well, in this case, here's a matrix. Here are, find some solutions. So usually it's just to make sure that you understand how to solve the basic concepts. Okay, so at this point, if you're able to do this, and you're mostly all elite students, so if you're able to do this, you are already at the level, at home by yourself, you're already at the level of ENGG 1410. Okay, the lectures and the exercises are comparable to the baseline lectures and exercises in the regular class, and that's all by yourself. Okay, so now we have 5 whole hours every week to spend with each other. What do? Right? So what we do over there is, so the exercises look like this. There are lots of hints. You can you can just click through, and then eventually the last hint is even usually the solution. So it's really not hard to do these exercises, but it's important to do these exercises because that sets a baseline for what you can understand. And there's an incentive. So what is the incentive? The incentive is, if you don't do these exercises, you don't get the point. So very basic incentive, right? So 10% of the grade is just these incentives. But why should you do them? Not just for yourself, not just for your 10 points, but for your group. You'll be working in groups together, and if you do not know the basics, then in the next exercise in class, your group may hurt, as I'll show you. Okay, and then everyone will be angry at you, and nobody likes that, right? You don't want to be the person who lets your group down, so that will be the incentive. So when you come to class, what happens? So next week when you come to class, the first thing we'll do is we'll give you a worksheet. It will look something like this. Okay, and in this worksheet, you will be doing it in groups, 3-person groups, and here is how it will be graded. So this is an example of an incentive system. So each of you at the end of the week will have to turn in a solution to each question your group has to do. Okay, then what do the TAs do? They randomly select one of the turned in solutions, and then the whole group gets that grade. Okay, so what does this mean? It means that if even one of you understand what's going on in the group, you should really explain it to your group mates, right? So that's what I mean by an incentive system, because again, we want you to learn from each other. We don't want you to sit by yourself, stay quiet. We want you to teach each other. There's many more of you, there's too few of us, so we want you to teach each other. Okay? Now, one thing that sometimes worries students is, what if my group mate isn't doing the work? Well, that is your problem, right? If your group mate is not doing the work, then that is your problem. So that's not on me, that's on you. But think of it also this way. Over the course of the semester, there's 25 points that you can earn via this manner, but there's way more than 25 questions. Okay, so we usually give you lots of slack. If a question here, a question there goes, it wasn't, maybe the group mate didn't get enough sleep, was not able to write down a good solution or something, it's okay. Over the course of the semester, usually almost everyone who comes to class manages to saturate this 25%. Okay, let me repeat that. The point of this is not to cause stress. My group mate is not working. Okay, usually if someone is coming, is watching the videos, is trying reasonably to understand the materials, even if a few questions slip through the cracks, over the course of the semester, most students will manage to saturate this 25% of the grade. Okay? So don't stress about it, view it as a learning opportunity. Okay? That's my message over here. All right. What next? Okay, so then in class we'll then have a lesson plan. So there'll be lots of questions. So these are different group names that students chose for each other. You'll notice different colors because each TA was responsible for a different group. Each group is responsible for a different subset of questions, or at least in a different order, and there are reasons for this. Basically, there are usually too many questions for any single group to do by themselves over the course of the week. So you are responsible for a subset of questions, and then you can see the solutions that other groups have posted over the course of the semester. And you know, there's some lesson plan. You've already seen this week's lesson plan. You'll keep seeing lesson plans over the rest of the week. So we try to tell you what's going to happen at every point in the class. Okay, so you know what to expect. You also have in front of you computers. So why do you have computers? Not just to look up things online, not just to use Facebook, but also so that you can use software to do basic calculations. So this thing over here, WX Maxima, should be installed on every one of your computers, and it's very useful. You can use it to integrate, you can use it to solve eigenvalues, eigenvectors, like most of the basic calculations that, you know, normally you would sit down, you would try to remember how to use the product rule or something like that. We don't care. From my perspective, you should already know how to do basic algebra. My goal is not to make you practice basic algebra. My goal is to focus on higher level abstract thinking. So the basic questions I will expect you to solve via Maxima. Okay? Indeed, even the exams, even the midterm, even the final exam, you will be allowed to use Maxima. The exams will be in a computer lab. Okay? So again, it will be an unusual mathematics class. Your mathematics class will be in front of a computer, and you can use the math software to do arithmetic, algebra, but the theorem proving and all of that, that comes from your mind. Okay? All right. Moving on. Okay, so we've given you this worksheet. Then what happens? So we'll do a practice run today, by the way. Okay, we have printed out worksheets, dummy worksheets, that are not related to the class material. We'll give you these worksheets in around 20 minutes or so. So what happens is, well, you form groups, and then in groups you start posting your solutions. So we say, okay, post solutions to question 1 here, question 2 here, and so on Piazza, and then you start writing it down, and then you post your solutions, and then the TAs and I go around, we answer any questions, we help those who need help, we comment on your solutions real time, right? And the solutions iteratively keep getting better. So I really like it because it is as if there's a conversation happening. Often the first solutions posted, you know, there's a little bit off, there's something here, something there which is not quite right. I mean, it's good to see, right? It's good to see the first solutions, but then we give some comments and then they iteratively improve. So this way, the idea is that you don't just learn from perfection, right? You learn how to get to perfection, you learn what are common mistakes. So there's a value in seeing the full conversation, okay? And all of this is played out in real time. Now, what is the incentive system here? It's the bonus points. So what are bonus points? Over the course of the semester, each of you can earn up to 5 bonus points, okay? And again, I'm very liberal with them. Last time I taught this course, the median amount of bonus points per student was 7.03 or something, above the saturation level. That means the median student got that full 5 bonus points, right? But more than that, it means that the median student kept doing the good things, because at some point, hopefully, it's no longer just about the bonus points, but it's because, aha, I'm clever, I want to show professor how clever I am, or I want to show my classmates how clever I am, or I want to help my classmates, right? So again, we are going to use incentives, we are going to use little tricks like this, points, to make sure that you help each other, you help the class, you help everyone. Okay? So, so that's what's going to happen with the piazza, and again we'll do an exercise today, so you'll get to see what's going on here. Now these questions will often be tricky, okay? So these will require more effort, these will be more challenging than the usual 1120, the regular version of this class questions. Then we synthesize, okay? So now you've posted your solutions. Then usually in the second class, by the end of the first class or in the second class or even a little bit in the third class, so Tuesday, Wednesday, we invite some groups to come, do presentations. The TAs and I listen to your presentations, we have a discussion, we highlight some interesting ideas and so on. So it's, in some sense, it's a synthesis, okay? So for each question there's a solution being posted, but then we try to compactify it, make it somewhat cleaner, and then we give you the chance to earn bonus points by doing a presentation like this, okay? So again, I find that useful because it allows students to describe how they are thinking, which is often quite different than how the TAs and I are thinking, right? So I have found that to be useful in seeing how students are thinking, often new ideas, different ideas than I would have thought, and that's why it's useful. Okay, then we have this exercise that we do once in a while. It's called the market aided teaching exchange. So what's the idea? So every once in a while, like after a few weeks, there's lots of concepts, right? And it's hard to keep track, you don't know what's going on. So usually what would a professor do? A professor would review concepts, right? So today is a review session, maybe before the midterm, maybe before the final exam, let's do a review session. And again, not very efficient, one-way flow of information, right? Professor keeps talking and students are like, right? And or either it's you already know it, or the very quick review doesn't really help. So what do we do here? Before you come to this session, there is this giant spreadsheet, very huge spreadsheet, okay? Each concept in class is a column, each of you is a row, okay? And you are supposed to fill in your self-reported level of understanding. This concept I understand well, 4. This concept I do not understand well, 2, something like that, okay? So everyone is supposed to fill this out before you come to that review session. Then we give you these coupons, okay? These are not real money, these are you can see it's ESTR something or the other, right? Bank of CUHK. Actually this is from last year, so it's ESTR1004, so it's not even for this class, right? We have to modify it for this class. But the point of this coupon is you can use that spreadsheet to go find somebody who claims that he or she understands the question you are having trouble with, right? And if he or she does help you, then you can offer this coupon, which is worth a certain fraction of a bonus point, right? You will write down, okay, person A helped person B for concept C, sign your name and then give it to that person. And then that person, your name? Jiang Yilei will give it to the TA, and the TA will give Jiang Yilei 0.2 points, okay? So what is the point of this? Look, markets are very efficient in some manners, right? In a distributed setting, like when we did this before the midterm 1 year ago, within 2 hours 100 plus concepts were exchanged, 50 plus different types of concepts, 3/4 of the class got some level of help, right? And it was just much more efficient use of time than a professor just standing there and helping and saying something, right? Of course we could just have said, oh, help each other, but you wouldn't, right? But with these incentives, with these types of little incentives, then you're like, okay, why not help my friends, right? So that is another example of what of the incentive system in place. Okay. Yeah. So why do we do this? Well, besides helping you, we are actually doing research on you guys. We're getting 300 plus data points on every student over the course of a semester. We can track you, we can figure out who's having trouble, we can help you better, okay? Because of this data, we are doing big data analytics on you guys, okay? Anyway, at the end of every class, we will give you a slip of paper. This slip of paper will be like this. It will say today's class was something like 0 to 10, mark it, but write comments on the reverse side and choose your secret ID. So 3 things, okay? So what is the point of this? Well, firstly, you'll tell us what you thought of today's class, but then secondly, you'll also choose a secret ID. What is a secret ID? It's something, anything, Snoopy, I love CUHK, whatever you want, that can be your secret ID, but keep using that over the course of the semester. So why is that? So then, even though we don't know who it is, you're anonymous, but we can keep tracking the opinions over time, and most importantly, please write comments on the reverse side. It's not a lot, it's just a single strip of paper, and we write those comments down in a spreadsheet, and then we try to respond to them. If you have reasonable comments, we will try to give reasonable responses by the next day, okay? So that is what I mean by trying to make sure that we keep getting better. With your help, this course will keep improving, okay? So, so we're looking forward to you doing that, okay? There's more. So remember I said we want to take you all the way up the Bloom taxonomy to get you to be creative. So starting in the 3rd or 4th week, we will release a large group of projects, potential group projects that you guys can do, which will be based on the linear algebra that you will be learning over the course of this semester, okay? And then on a weekly basis, the TAs and I will interact with you, and at the end of the semester, it's really quite fascinating. So there'll be different poster presentations, you'll learn from each other, different groups go and give presentations on different things, deep learning, face recognition, talking piano, game theory, cryptography, quantum computing, tomography, like a whole bunch of different applications of linear algebra that I find, like, you know, sometimes it blows my mind. Like last year, somebody wrote a quantum algorithm, simulated it on the IBM Watson computer. Okay, a year 1 student. He spent probably way too much time on his project, but I was fascinated, right? These projects are really very good, often very high quality. Yeah, this is a list of some of the projects from last year. Okay. This Harold is a creature you will get to know quite well. This is a drawing by a previous year's student, okay? So what is Harold? Harold is a hypothetical alert reader of limitless dedication, okay? He is the perfect 1005 student, or he or she is the perfect 1005 student. Works very hard, knows all the answers, and so on. So what is the point? He or she is the class mascot, okay? Often during the course of the semester, I will be posting materials which I will say are Harold materials. This is what Harold would do. If you're interested, here is something extra. So usually a Harold note is something that is beyond even 1005. It is just beyond. It is just because you are humans and you may be curious about what, you know, very smart people know and what are the limits of human knowledge. So Harold will be the class mascot who tells you that there's a whole world out there beyond this class as well, okay? So don't get stressed by Harold, okay? Even though he will be posting very complicated material sometimes, the point is just to expose you to the things beyond the boundary of this class, okay? And I think that's it here. So look, it's a lot of work. Okay, I will be upfront about it. It's a lot of work. This course is easily at least 2 times, some students say 3 times the amount of work of other courses. Okay, that is true. Here is how, however, what I can say to you in return. the TAs and I will work at least as hard to make sure that you get a learning experience out of this that is worthy of your time, of your attention, of your patience with us. Okay? We will not be perfect, but we will try to improve. Come talk to us. You can talk to us. You can post on Piazza. Piazza allows you to post anonymously if you wish. Okay? Look, worst case, you know you have the option to go to 1120, right? And if you choose to stay, I understand that it is my honor and my privilege that smart people like you will stay, work in this course, work hard. Okay? So that is my honor, and I do not take it for granted. Okay? But I have to warn you, as perhaps your seniors already told you, 1004 last year and starting this year 1005, because 1004 no longer exists, it has become 1005, is a hard course. Okay, it's not easy. All right. So that is very broadly the only lecture that you will hear in this class. Okay, and I would have recorded this too, except it's a first class, so I can't expect you to actually watch videos. But again, this is stuff that we have spent a lot of time thinking about. If you're interested, then you can also read more detail. Like there's a class philosophy document which outlines all of this in more detail. You can read things like this. Okay, so just for your interest, the class structure is here. For Thursday's material, there is a tutorial video that you should watch. It is on the Keep site, so when you click on this, it will take you to Keep. So please watch this before Thursday. Okay, anyway, it's opening. All right, so let's see what else was in the lesson plan. Okay, so the other TAs, so I see you, Shinyu. Okay, good. Can the TAs start taking photographs? So here's what's going to happen now. So the TAs and I like to keep track of who is who. So each of them will go around and will take a photograph. Okay, so please take a sheet of paper, write down. So this is not a good example. Let me show you what we would like. So well, not even this. Let me just choose something else. Okay, let me just write over here on the lesson plan what I would expect. Okay, so put these on that sheet of paper and then we'll take a photograph. Why do we do this? Because over the course of the semester we'll get to know each of you quite well. Okay, usually by the second or third week I try to memorize everyone's names, and this is useful because over the course of the semester I'll then know how everyone is doing. Over the next few years, you will come to me, ask for recommendation letters, right? Just like right now, I'm writing recommendation letters for the last 2-3 years of students. So it helps to know everyone well. So that's why we take these photographs so that we can learn from you. By the way, while you're doing this, let me introduce the TAs. Okay, fine. So 3 of the TAs are here. Let me introduce them for now, and then the last one we'll introduce later. So here, do you want to introduce yourself? Just
hello, I'm Ilhan. I'm a student of SIT, and I'm going to be a TA of this course, and it's my first time of this. And it's going to be the last time because I'm in my final year.
So when he says he's my student, he means he's my PhD student. So he's a postgraduate student working with me.
I'm Xinyu. I'm from Information Engineering Department. I'm the second year graduate student.
Hello, my name is Marco, and I'm also a PhD student of Professor Jackie, and I'm a second year PhD student.
And we have another TA. I'll introduce when he comes in. So when you guys, so let's give them another couple of minutes, and then you can go around and start taking photographs. Oh, right. Minghao, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Minhao Guo. I'm a first year PhD student, majoring in information engineering.
Thank you. So yeah, each TA will be responsible for around a quarter of the class, so they'll get to know your quarter quite well. Okay, I think hopefully many of them have written things by now. Maybe divide up and start taking photographs. Okay. All right. So let's see, what have I? So I think I've mostly discussed most of the materials over here: class structure, philosophy, expectations, blah blah blah, maxima demo. Okay, yeah. So let me just move to okay, looks like you have a client here. Somebody has a client here. Once people are ready, raise your hands. A TA will come to you. Okay. Raise it high so that the TAs can see. Yeah. Yeah. Please take a high enough quality so that we can see it later here. I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
Yes. This is something like an Alice we use on Facebook.
Well, if you, so the question is, what is the nickname? So some students I know choose to have a different nickname. Like for example, Lochin also goes by Marco, right? So if you have something like that you would prefer us to call you, then use that. Otherwise, whatever you want. You can leave it blank if you'd prefer. Okay? All right, so while this is happening, let me just do a quick run through of some of the other posts I did this morning on Piazza, and then we'll get to the fun part. We'll get to the fun part, which is going to be doing exercises. So in this post, I mostly told you about flipped classes. You can also see projects from the previous couple of years. So if you click on those. This is information on how to sign up for Keep if you have not already done that. In these FAQs, so I described the grading and assessment policy. So again, like the basic baseline to take away from this is even though there are many different things you have to do, but in my honest opinion, and I think in the opinion of students who have taken the 1004 in the past, it is not that hard to get to 75%. And the reason is the following. 25% of it is group-based activities, which usually students saturate. 15% is the project, which again, if you're just doing weekly updates, I tend to be not very anal about it. Usually you get those 15 points. 10% of it is just doing basic exercises on keep. Okay, again, these are usually quite simple questions. The last hint is usually the solution, so it's not that hard to do. So that's 50% right there. Okay, the remaining 50% is exams, but half the exam points are for 1120 questions. Okay, so we deliberately introduce 1120 questions and give you computers to solve them. So really, if you are following the class materials, getting to 75% is not hard, right? So over the 3 years I've taught previously this course, nobody has ever gotten below, nobody who stuck to the course, nobody who stayed through the course, nobody who attended every lecture or most lectures got anything less than a B+. Okay, and 90% of the class got an A or an A-. So this course has the flexibility. You guys are mostly elite students. This class has the flexibility of breaking the grade curve. I do not have to follow some artificial normal distribution. If you deserve an A, you will get an A. If you deserve an A-, you will get an A-. Okay, and we try to link it to how much you have actually learned. Okay, so again, you can look at the statistics that I posted here, but statistically, it is not hard to get a high grade in this class. In terms of work, it is a lot of work to get a high grade in this class. I'm not trying to fool you, but statistically, if you do that work, you will get a decent grade. Okay. The other thing, so how do you earn bonus points? And this, I will admit upfront, is quite arbitrary. You get bonus points when I or the TAs decide you should get bonus points. Okay, these are bonus points, so please do not fight with me about bonus points. Eventually, we'll give you enough opportunities to earn bonus points as long as you are interactive. It's basically to encourage you to collaborate in class activities. Okay, so anyway, you can read my more detailed answers over here. I've also waxed eloquent about the importance of community norms over here. Feel free to read about that. One of the nice things about Piazza is that you can enter mathematical equations here quite easily. So you can go to this thing here, enter, I don't know, in sum, and then once you know what you're doing, you can even start typing directly alpha plus beta whole square, right, and it'll show you what it looks like. So so it's possible to write math quite nicely, but if you don't want to, it's okay. You can just take a photograph of something handwritten and post it. Okay, that's okay too. Though we would appreciate it if you use this mathematical software called LaTeX. It makes it look quite pretty. As I said, you can also post anonymously, like posts. So posts that can be. So deleted it. I'm an instructor, so I can't show you, but as students, you can post anonymously, or you can post anonymously to your classmates but visible to the instructors. Okay, and that mode is useful if for whatever reason you're shy, you don't want people to know how smart you are, but you want to get some bonus points, so you can do that if you wish. Okay, so so Piazza is good that way. So about the groups, Ihan, can you distribute the group sheets? So we're about to start the group work. So before we hand out the groups, the group sheets,
Maybe one for 3 persons.
one per 3 people, yeah. So you will have the chance. So I don't want to form groups just based on where you're sitting today. You will have 1 week to, if you already know people you want to work with. if you want to form groups over the next week, you have 1 week to find friends and form groups of 3. Okay? So just for this week, the people you're sitting next to now will be your groups just for this week. And again, it doesn't matter because this material is not really related to class materials, right? It's just a practice dummy run. But by next week, please use this Google form to enter the names of 3 students together who form a group. So enter the full names and then enter potential team names, okay? And then we'll arrange you into groups over here. All right. All right, and let us, okay, at this point, like I said, let us start the fun stuff. Do you want to join a group somewhere? You don't really need a computer. You can sit anywhere you want. You can move your chair if you want, okay? Okay, can you start distributing these? Here. Can you start distributing these? All right, exercise sheets. You guys are working together. What group do you think you'll be? Okay, exercise sheets. Here you guys go. Exercise sheets. Just 1 minute.
Many of them are already asking where they can form group of 4 instead of
No.
3.
No. You cannot form groups of 4, only groups of 3. There is a sociological reason for this. People have done research on the optimal group sizes for work. And if there is an even number, then the group is less active. When there is an odd number of people, then the group is more active. Okay? Social science research. So only groups of size 3.
sheet for group formulation. They have a chance to reform a group, right?
Yeah. So these groups are just for this week. Next week they can do whatever they want. But those will be firm. Those will be fixed.
So this one for this week.
Yeah, because right now study for the rest of the semester.
The class is too quiet. Talk to each other, okay? Also, once, if you think you have an idea, if you think you know what to do, don't keep it to yourself, talk to your classmates, your group mates, but also if you write something down, you can post your solutions here or even partial solutions, ideas here, okay? And the TAs and I will keep monitoring over here. So, Piazza is now your forum too. You belong to it too, so participate, okay? Now the TAs and I will go around and walk and help you guys. Good. Good, we're beginning to get comments, including the first not quite correct comment, but even things that I don't agree with can still earn bonus points, okay? So please feel free to post, look, learn from each other.
students who haven't taken photo of us, so can you ask them to raise their hand?
The TAs tell me that there's still around 10 students whose photos we do not have yet. If your photo has not been taken, please raise your hand. Okay. We would like your photos. By tomorrow, I will actually start memorizing your faces. If I see that I don't have your photo, I'll come and take a photo myself. Okay. So please raise your hands if we don't have your photos yet. Okay, so usually someone does this near the beginning of the semester. Any solution posted which is sideways will not be viewed. Okay, please delete and rotate so that it is vertical. Okay, otherwise it's just very hard to read. So Chu Yejang, please rotate 90 degrees and post vertically.
Hey, how's it going? So you're looking at question 2, huh? Do you understand the question? So, if so, to me, the consequence seems very strange. Do you agree? Like all triangles are equilateral. That seems very strange. So, oh, I see. You're verifying that, huh? Like I see that you're showing that indeed all triangles are equilateral. But that's not true, right? All triangles are equilateral. Like this triangle does not look equilateral, right?
So maybe it's like this.
Maybe it's like that. Well, I can redo the proof with a minus b instead of a plus b and show you that it will still work.
My answer is it can apply to all the triangles.
I agree. So what's going on? Again, this is not really related to the class. It's just to get you. The real purpose is to get you to talk to each other. The reason I'm talking to you is because you're both looking very silently at your paper and not really talking to each other. Yeah? Okay. Both of you are trying question number 2, huh? You look like you have a question. What's the question? This point, noting that we have not used. Is this your question?
Yeah.
So, in proving this, like in these points, we have not used anything special about this triangle. This should hold for any triangle. Yeah? But we have shown that in fact all triangles are equilateral, which is very strange, no? Yeah. So anytime I see TA standing there like this, that's a waste of your time, right? Go find someone to talk to. Okay.
students think the triangle question is vacuous because it's obviously incorrect. So I try to convince them they have to do some work.
So, by the way,
there's nothing to argue because it's
yeah.
obviously wrong.
So, by the way, some students then come to this, which is actually correct, but it's also possible to create an illusion such that both of them are outside. So then it becomes both of the, like it's A minus B in both cases. So let me show you what I mean. So again, I'm going to cheat here. Okay, so what do I want? I want the angle bisector here. I want the, okay, actually let's redraw it in a cheating way. So this is the angle bisector. Let's say this is the perpendicular bisector, and then it becomes A, B, C, E, G.
I think that's F, right?
Oh, this is F. Right. This is F, and this is D. Okay. Can you take a photograph and post this over here and confuse the student? No, but post it to the in response, right?
Yeah, I know, but I need to find the post.
Ah, okay. Your photo isn't posted.
Yeah, it's very slow. their answers, for example, all answers to Q1 should be posted online.
Yeah.
They cannot create their own post.
Well, other students can.
Oh, I see. Let's create a separate post.
Oh, they can't.
I see.
Like unless, I mean, unless you want to start a different discussion, like sometimes that happens. If you have a whole other different discussion, feel free to start a different post.
All right. So if there's 5 minutes left to the end of class, by now hopefully you've begun to see how this is going to go, right? Again, these exercises, I mean, they're puzzles. These are not critical for this class. I mean, I think they're interesting puzzles. I think we can learn something from them, but they're not directly related to this class. But more than anything else, hopefully you've seen how the structure of the rest of this week will go, right? Or the rest of the semester will go. So tomorrow, here's what we'll do. Tomorrow, we will do a summation, a summary, a synthesis. So I'll invite some students who have posted solutions to come and describe their solutions. We can we have the system here so that you can connect. You can bring a piece of paper, put it over here, and then we can take a take a photo and then discuss that solution. So when we do that, there'll be a little bit of a discussion. It will all be recorded, just like today's class is actually being recorded. So today's class is being recorded. It's being put on YouTube over here. It's live streaming. It's being put on YouTube. So similarly, the solutions that we will discuss tomorrow will be recorded. They'll be on YouTube. You can watch them later at your leisure, right? You can until tomorrow or until Wednesday keep on posting more solutions if you want. You don't have to. Remember, there's no homework in this class. But if you want to, feel free to. Okay. So tomorrow we'll do a synthesis, and then on Wednesday we'll give you some practice with WX Maxima, that software that is in every computer here. You can also download it onto your computers at home, so that if you want to practice with Maxima at home, you can do that. It's freeware, so we'll do that. Now that's basically it for today's class. At this point, we'd like to hear from you. So please give us your feedback. So we're giving you these little slips of paper. So again, 3 things on this piece of paper. Choose a secret ID that you will use for the rest of the semester. Write what you think of today's class on the back and write down a score for today's class. Okay? So, and we will try to respond to these comments. We'll ask you every time, like 3 times a week. Every time we see you, we'll ask you. You can also post on Piazza. You can tell us what you're thinking, and you can post on Piazza. Okay? But that's basically it. So class is basically over. Yeah, so this is what the visualizer looks like, and then we'll be able to discuss this tomorrow. All right. All right. Yeah, so there was a lot discussed today about the logistics structure. If you have questions, talk to the TAs or me. Make friends. You have 1 week to make friends and make a group. Once you form a group, you will be working together quite a lot. Your group mates, you'll be doing your projects together, you'll be doing your exercises together. So the groups that you form starting next week, you can sit anywhere you want over the next few days. But starting next week, you will form groups and then you'll be in that. Okay? So make friends. Yes. Yes. So again, just to clarify, I expect 3 things from you. So choose a number for today's class. Choose a secret ID. So choose a secret ID. Choose something, anything. It can be anything you want. We don't care. But keep doing that for the rest of the semester. And then on the back side, write some comment. Tell us what you thought of today's class. Okay? So these 3 things. Okay?
Yeah, put it all.
All right, class is over.